Very good morning, dear children. Let us start our today's class with a prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Dear children, for today's class, we are going to see about the second unit, motion. After completing this lesson, you will be able to list the objects which are at rest and which are in motion. You can understand distance and displacement. You will determine the distance covered by an object describing a circular path. You can classify uniform motion and non-uniform motion. You can easily distinguish between speed and velocity. We can relate accelerated and unaccelerated motion. Up to this we are going to see for today's class. Let's move on to the class. What is motion? Motion is the change in the position of an object with respect to its surrounding. I repeat, motion is the change in the position of the object with respect to its surrounding. Everything in this universe is in motion. Even though we are seems to be at rest and moving nothing, but it is moving along with the earth as it is moving around the sun. You may see objects moving in your surrounding like car, train, flight, etc. These movements are one type of motion. You can see your ceiling fan, it rotates. So it is another type of motion. Sometimes in a park, many of you are fond of playing swing. It moves to and fro. So this is another type of motion. So motion is described in terms of distance, speed, acceleration and time. In this lesson we will study about different types and equation of motion, displacement, velocity and acceleration. Dear children, it is very important for us to understand the concept of rest and motion. Even though rest and motion both are seems to be different, but they are interrelated. That interrelationship between rest and motion you might have learnt in your 6th standard science. For suppose you are traveling in a speed train, you are sitting near the window side. What will you see? All the trees which are at rest seems to be running fastly. So with respect to you, a traveler in a train seems to the object which is at rest is under motion. In many cases, you can come through this difference. For suppose, consider 3 persons, namely A, B and C. A is standing at the bus stop and B and C are sitting inside a bus. Now the bus is moving. According to A, the person C is traveling, but according to B, who is sitting near to C, is at rest position. So the person C seems to be traveled with respect to A, but seems to be at rest with respect to B. So this is a very good example for you to understand the interrelationship between rest and motion. So we cannot separate or we cannot understand rest separately and motion separately. So we can derive an object if it is rest or motion means it is with respect to the frames of reference of the observer. Where the observer is standing is very important to determine an object whether it is at rest or in motion. So next we need to see about types of motion. As in the introduction part I have told you there are different types of motion. First one is linear motion, motion along a straight line. For a person walking along a road is a very good example. Circular motion, motion along a circular path. The bicycle tire is a good example for this circular motion. Oscillatory motion, repetitive to and fro motion of an object at regular interval of time is known as oscillatory motion. Swing, simple pendulum are good example for this oscillatory motion. Random motion, motion of the object which does not fall in any one of the above category comes under random motion. In the chemistry lesson we have seen about Tyndall effect, isn't it? It is a good example for random motion. These things and all you might have learned in your early classes. So as we are growing up, we need to understand the science much better. So we move on to the next step. We are going to classify motion as uniform and non-uniform motion. How can we classify motion as a uniform motion and non-uniform motion? Let's deal with an example which is given in your textbook. Consider a car which covers 60 km in the first hour. Then in the second hour it covers again 60 km. In the third hour also it covers 60 km. So what is the result? First hour it travels 60 km, second hour also 60 km, third hour 60 km. What is the meaning? It moves in a constant speed and also the car covers equal distance at equal interval of time. So how can we derive uniform motion? An object is said to be in uniform motion if it covers equal distance in equal interval of time, however big or small this time interval may be. So this is called as uniform motion. Next we need to see about non-uniform motion. For this non-uniform motion we need not to go anywhere, because in earth, in our day-to-day life, we comes under lot of non-uniform motion. Consider a bus starting from one stop. It proceeds slowly when it passes through a crowded area of the road. Suppose it manages to travel merely 100 meters in 5 seconds due to the heavy traffic, and is able to travel about 2 kilometers in 5 minutes when the road is clear. Hence, in the same 5 minutes, it travels 100 meters in a traffic area and it travels 2 kilometers in a clear road. So, the motion of the bus is non-uniform. So, what is the meaning? It travels unequal distances in equal interval of time. Everywhere, the time is important. Equal interval of time, it travels unequal distance. Okay. Now let's see the definition for the non-uniform motion. An object is said to be non-uniform motion, said to be in non-uniform motion if it covers unequal distances in equal interval of time. Very important, distance is unequal, time interval is equal. Okay. So next we need to see about distance and displacement. Most of us get confused with the two terms, distance and displacement. We thought both are same, but dear children, please do note that distance is not equal to displacement. For suppose, let's follow the example given in your textbook itself. See, A is a point, B is a point. There are number of possible ways to reach an object from A to B. For example, I can reach A to B like this. 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 In any way I can reach this A to B. There are number of possible ways to reach one point to another. Okay. Here, what is distance first? The actual length of the path travelled by a moving body, irrespective of the direction, is called the distance travelled by the time. I repeat, the actual length of the path travelled by a moving body, irrespective of the direction, is called the distance travelled by the time. For suppose, in the number of ways I have selected, this way means A to B. So, this length is my distance. If I select this way, this is the actual length I follow to reach B from A. Okay, so then this length is, without considering the direction, this length is distance. So it is measured in the meter, which is the SI unit for length. It is a scalar quantity because we didn't consider about the direction. So if it is scalar quantity means it only have the magnitude alone. What is displacement? It is defined as the change in position of a moving body in a particular direction. In other word, I can say the shortest distance, that is straight line alone the shortest distance. You draw number of possible ways, only straight line is the shortest distance. The shortest distance which helps to reach one point to another is the displacement. It includes the direction. So it is defined as the change in position of a moving body in a particular direction. If we include the direction also means it is a vector quantity. So this displacement includes both magnitude and direction, but the same unit, meter, is the unit for the displacement. It includes the direction also. Distance includes magnitude alone. SI units are same. So difference கேட்டாங்க, what is the difference between displacement and distance? If they ask means you first have to write the definition as the first distance. Comparison கேட்டா, this is the first difference, and it is a scalar quantity, it is a vector quantity is the second difference, and magnitude alone you have to say, and it includes magnitude and direction. This is the third point. Comparison means you include both of them have the same unit, meter. Okay, next we need to see about speed, velocity and acceleration. Speed, velocity and acceleration. What is speed? Speed is the quantity which shows how fast the object is moving, but velocity is the quantity which shows the speed as well as the direction of the moving body. I repeat, speed is the quantity which shows how fast the body is moving irrespective of its direction. Speed is the rate of change of distance. Other word, because distance doesn't cover direction. So speed is the rate of change of distance or distance travelled in unit time. It is a scalar quantity. So SI unit of speed is meter second power minus 1, because speed is equal to distance travelled divided by time taken. See dear children, please mind about if the word in your English science class, if a word indicate rate of change of means in any division at the denominator time is there. With respect to time, the change is considering. That is the exact meaning of the word rate of change of. So here speed is equal to rate of change of distance, t in the denominator, d in the numerator. So speed definition is that speed is equal to d divided by t. So distance is measured in meter and time is measured in second. So what is the unit? Meter divided by second. In other terms I can write meter second power minus 1. If I raise the denominator into numerator, power minus 1 should be raised. Is it clear? So meter second power minus 1. See problem 1. An object travels 16 meter in 4 seconds and then another 16 meter in 2 seconds. What is the average speed of the object? So total distance covered, because we need not to mind about the direction. So if we find the total distance 16 meter plus 16 meter, that will result in 32 meter. Time taken 4 seconds plus 2 seconds is equal to 6 seconds. What is the formula for average speed? Average speed is equal to total distance travelled divided by total time taken. So 32 divided by 6 will result in 5.33 unit meter second power minus 1. Please don't forget to mention the unit. Okay. Next we need to see about velocity. Velocity is the rate of change of displacement. It is the displacement in unit time. It is a vector quantity. Its SI unit of velocity is meter second power minus 1. So velocity is equal to displacement divided by time. Let's see problem number 2. A sound is heard 5 seconds later than the lightning is seen in the sky on a rainy day. It is a very important MCQ question. Find the distance of location of lightning, give the speed of sound. Given the speed of sound 346 meters second power minus 1. Speed is equal to distance travelled by time, that is the formula as we all know. So here I need to find out the distance. So I cross multiply these two terms. So to find out distance is equal to speed into time. So 346 into 5 is equal to 1730 meters. Why I put meter here? The unit for distance is meter. So that corresponding unit must be placed there. Next we need to see about acceleration. Acceleration is the rate of change of velocity, or it is the change of velocity in unit time. It is a vector quantity. The SI unit of acceleration is meter second power minus 2. How meter second power minus 2? Acceleration is equal to change in velocity divided by time. What is the meaning change in velocity? For example, if an object starts with one initial speed and it ends with another final speed, so there will not be the similarity between initial and final speed. There must be some difference. So that difference, final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time. Okay, so that is acceleration. The final velocity is indicated using a letter V and the initial velocity is indicated using the letter U. Okay, time means t. So A is equal to V minus U by t is the formula to find out the acceleration. So I asked you why meter second power minus 2. That's because what is the definition here? Change in velocity divided by time. So what is velocity? Velocity displacement divided by time. So that is V. Acceleration A is equal to V by t. V by t. So instead of V, I can write d by t. Here one t is there into t. I repeat, A is equal to V by t. Since V is equal to d by t, there is another t here. So t square. Here what is the numerator? D, which has the unit meter. Here t square, which has the unit second. T square means second square. So meter divided by second square, which results in meter second power minus 2. In many times we can see there is no change in the object speed. Consider a situation in which a body moves in a straight line without reversing its direction. From the above equation, if V greater than U, that is final velocity is greater than initial velocity, the velocity increases with time and the value of acceleration is positive. If V is less than if V is less than initial velocity, that is final velocity is less than the initial velocity, the velocity decreases with respect to time. So the value of acceleration is negative and this negative acceleration is called as deceleration, otherwise retardation. So it is another 2-mark question. What is deceleration or what is retardation? So if the velocity decreases with respect to time, the value of acceleration is negative. This negative acceleration is known as retardation and deceleration. If the acceleration has a value of plus 2 means the deceleration will have you the value of minus 2. Okay. Next we need to see about graphical representation of motion along straight line. Let's see that. Okay, so what is the result? When we look at the distance time graph, we notice few things. First, it is straight line. We also notice that the person covers equal distance in equal interval of time. So, by seeing this graph, we can conclude that equal interval of time the person covers equal distances. Okay. We can therefore conclude that he walked at a constant speed. Can you find the speed at which he walked? We can find the speed using the graph. How? Speed is equal to distance covered by time. So, slope of the straight line. So, here we can draw the slope of the straight line. How we can draw? This is the slope of the straight line. Okay. I have to draw a line from one point, another line from another point. Similarly, here and here. So, this is the area, this is the slope of the any line. So, what is the formula? dy divided by dx. So, the slope of the straight line is nothing but y divided by x. So, distance covered by time, because y is in the y axis we have taken distance, in the x axis we have taken time. Slope will be resulted as BC divided by AC, that is equal to 500 divided by 5 is equal to 100 meter per minute. Okay. So, this shows another comparison, that a person A is walking, B is cycling and C is riding in a car. They all start at the same time, but they cover different distance. See, walking means he could be able to cover 20 meters alone. Using cycling, he could be able to cover 40 meters. By using car, he could be able to cover 60 meter. So, if the speed increases, means distance covered also increases. Next, we need to see about distance time graph. What we have seen in the previous class only, previous section only. Now we are going to see, but for non-uniform motion. In the previous case we have seen uniform motion. In this case we are going to see non-uniform motion. How can we say the non-uniform motion? See the table 2.2. The time is taken at equal interval 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. But the distance cover is vary. 0, 1, then moves on to 4, moves on to 9, 16, 25, 36 like that. Okay. So, as I told you, in the x-axis time is taken, in the y-axis distance is taken. So, for the time 0, distance 0, which is marked in the first point. For the time 2, distance 1. So, here time is 2, in this 5 first point is 1, which is marked here. Okay. Time is 4, distance is 4. Below 5, it is shown in the point this. Okay, 4. Then time 6.9. Below 10, here it should be here. Okay. Like that, all the points have been marked in the graph and it is resulted like this curved line. So, if we plot a graph between the distance traveled time, it would be shown in the figure 2.4. The graph is not a straight line as we got in the case of uniform motion. For uniform motion, we got a straight line in the graph. So, this nature of graph shows non-linear variation of distance travelled by the car with time. Thus, the graph represents motion with non-uniform speed. Next, we need to see about velocity time graph. The variation in velocity of an object with time can be represented by velocity time graph. X-axis we are going to take as usual, velocity we are going to take in the y-axis. If the object moves at uniform velocity, as in the case of uniform displacement, a straight line parallel to x-axis is uptime. This graph shows you the velocity time graph for a car which moves with a uniform velocity 40 km per hour. So, this is that graph. So, for what is the meaning? They didn't give the table. I am going to see this table. 2.3, time 0, velocity of the car is 0. Wait a minute. For this figure 2.5, there is no tabular column is given. I am going to write the tabular column by seeing the graph. Let's write along with me. See, it starts with the 40 kilometer per hour speed at 0 point. Time is taken as 0, but at the beginning itself it starts at the 40 kilometer per hour, which is not possible initially, but for your understanding about uniform velocity, this kind of graph has been taken. Okay, see, at 1 minute it is in the 40 kilometer. So 0 time 40 kilometer, this is time, this is velocity. 1 minute 40 kilometer, but here it is not 1 minute, 1.2, okay, 1.2 minute it is 40 kilometer, and 2 minute it is 40 kilometer, 2 minute 40 kilometer, 3 minute 40 kilometer, 4 minute 40 kilometers. See, everywhere it is 40 kilometer. So this is the result of an object moving with uniform velocity. So what is the area? This area, it seems like a rectangle, isn't it? So this area of the rectangle ABCD shows you the displacement. So the graph is equal to the magnitude of the displacement. Next we are going to see another graph which has a uniformly accelerated velocity. What is the meaning? With respect to equal interval of time, the speed is equally raised, which is shown in the table clearly. Okay, see, at 0 second the velocity is 0. At 5 second velocity increases to 9 meter per second. At 10 second, after 5 second, okay, equal interval of time. 18, that is 9 minutes per second, speed is increased in the order of 9 minutes per second. 27, 36, 45, 54. The time is taken as equal interval 5, 5 each. Here the speed is increased with respect to in the order of 9. So this table shows you uniformly accelerated motion. So what will be the result? This kind of graph will be the result. So one can also determine the distance moved by the car from its velocity time graph. The area under the velocity time graph gives the distance, otherwise displacement moved by the car in a given interval of time. Since the magnitude of the velocity of the car is changing due to the acceleration, the distance s travelled by the car will be given by the area ABCDE under the velocity time graph. So how can we calculate the distance? So the distance is the area covered by the slope. The distance is area covered by the slope. So this, if we calculate this area, we can find out the distance. If we calculate this area, we can find out the distance. That is ABCDE. Okay. So we can divide this area into two parts. Area of the rectangle and area of the triangle. This is one way. So how can we find out the area of the rectangle? We know the formula, length into breadth is the area of the rectangle. So AB into BC. And triangle we know half BH, half this is B, this is H. Okay, this is one kind of formula. Next, area of the quadrangle, that is ABCDE, can be also calculated by calculating the area of the trapezium ABCDE. So how can we find out the area of the trapezium? Its formula is half sum of the length of parallel sides into distance between the parallel sides. That is nothing but half AB plus CD. So what are the parallel sides? So these are the parallel sides. AB, okay, AB, CE, and distance between the parallel sides. So how can we find out the distance? This is the distance, that is BC. Okay, distance between the parallel sides. AD, otherwise here BC. Okay, in the case of non-uniform accelerated motion, distance time graph and velocity time graphs can have any shape. This is for uniformly accelerated. If in the case of non-uniformly accelerated, this is the most commonly occurring case, because in our daily life in this traffic, no motion can be accelerated uniformly. Everything is non-uniform accelerated motion. So the graph will be like this. Okay. Next we need to see about equation of motion. That thing we see in a separate video. All the best. God bless you. Thank you, girls.